So one of the things I've learned about lives and going live is that you can go live for a long time because people come and go, etc. And you should only be able to see exit solo layout. Hey, there I am. All right, so you'll be able to see me some of the time, but I'm going to post it most of the time. Look at that. You can support me by sending stars. I've gotten $3.14 from people sending stars. Woohoo! That's a hoof pick. Everything counts. So today, we were talking about frustration. Like that's the topic that was on my live. So this is perfect for Fun Day Friday. I'm going to go to the full screen so I can see you a little bit better. And then now we can go back and forth. So if you are watching, please let me know so I can see who you are. I can invite you. I can talk to you. I can engage with questions, and I can help Daniela and support her and her endeavor. So you are playing with bourbon today. Oh, this is cool. I can highlight the eyeball and it tells me who's watching. Ah, Zenergen's watching. How about that? Awesome. Here's my one viewer. And then now, oh no, it tells you where they're watching. Okay, so I have on Facebook or on YouTube. All my viewers on YouTube. Fabulous. So those of you watching every Friday at 1:00, usually we're having some tech stuff that we're playing around with today. So 1:42 every Friday, Bourbon takes a big hairy dump in the middle of the round pen. Just kidding. So we're actually going to be dealing with frustration today. And sometimes that's how we deal with frustration. Now we just, take a big old hairy dump on our friends and then we go over and say, hey, are we okay? And he goes, all right, well, now that I'm done with that. So, so if you're watching, please make sure you are commenting. I want to hear from you. I want to hear like what you're learning, what's up, what you're getting out of this. And look at this, everybody's from my YouTube channel. So every Friday afternoon, we do something with the horses. And if you're in the New York area, we're definitely going to be doing some live stuff at Art of a Sale. It's in the Hudson Valley area near Warwick. So Danielle is here with her horse Bourbon today. We're really excited to see what sort of laziness. It's always interesting when the lazy ones show up or the introverted ones show up because they never really do anything that is really earth-shattering until I start telling jokes, and then all hell breaks loose. So I'm just kind of like observing him now, and he's just sort of around. What is it that he's thinking? Like as you're in there with him, like what do you think he's thinking? And Danielle, I would encourage you to make sure you're exactly in the center of the arena. Oh, look at that. Another big hairy dump. That's fantastic. There, he's like, I wonder what she thinks of that shit. Like, so do that. Like, look, he's got one at 6:00 and one at 3:00. He knows, or one at 6 and one at 12. He knows what a clock looks like. All right, so now he's going to walk around some more. So this is a horse, especially as introverted as this horse is. This is a horse that is illustrating an environmental adaptive, meaning environment has just changed. He's in the round pen. And you now have shown up and now you're in the arena. You're not messing with your tech stuff anymore. And you actually are giving him a tiny bit of your attention. And so am I. So if you're watching, you're just watching him just kind of like ding dong around. And like, it just looks like he's not really doing anything. But trust me, he is thinking about everything. And what's really powerful about this and why it's kind of cool actually that you're not dealing too much with stuff because you have to hold the phone and you can't put it near the wind or I'll yell at you. And you got a lot of other things going on than just engaging with the horse. So it's actually really perfect that you have Bourbon today because Bourbon is a Maverick. And for you guys that don't know what that means that he's an introvert and he's instinctual in the way that he processes information. He's a big feeler. He's got a huge heart, but he's also very skeptical about what people's intentions are with him because he's had a lot of people for a lot of years do things with him that didn't really care about his sensitivities. So, or his nuances. Like, look at him. Like, why is he walking around in a circle all of a sudden just because you went and stood in the middle? I said, good boy. Now, this is really kind of interesting because we want him to be able to make his own decisions. Well, we all there. That was interesting. Like, why? Nobody asked him to walk around. He were just kind of allowing him to do his thing. So observing this and saying, okay, well, he came in here and he was fine. The minute we started paying him an ounce of attention, he had to poop twice, which in horse world and us too. It's funny that poop's been the topic with all of my people today. We've been talking about poop all day. Let's talk about shit, baby. Let's talk about how much weight we will free ourselves of after we poop. So it is important. And for a horse, it's jettisoning the fuel. And to jettison the fuel is to lighten the load as much as possible in case he needs to take off. I don't know about you, but if I got to poop, if I got to feel like I got to poo, like I really can't even focus on the conversation at hand. I don't know about you. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'd love to continue this conversation, but I got to take a shit. Get out of my house. So that's what he's thinking about right now. He's like, if he was anywhere but in here, so now he's jettisoning the fuel. He dumped his dump, and now he's walking around. Right now, we don't have him stressed out, but we definitely have him thinking. And right about there, every time, right after he passes, pile number 2, he looks at you. And then he kind of pauses over here, which Lillian, I would actually encourage you to pick a different place than the gate to be at. Anywhere but near the gate, which is code for be as far away from the gate as possible, please. So there's not like another distraction. Look, see, he's like, where's she going? And I don't know where you went, but some other. So these guys, these horses, they don't miss a trick. Perfect. Thank you very much. And they don't miss anything. They can see almost around themselves 360 degrees. So now now if he's, look at all that. Look how much time it took before he was like, I wonder if I can come in and say hi. Like all of this up to the point was his introverted version of flight instinct. And flight for an introvert looks just like this. Now, he's not super worried that we're going to come attack him and kill him and like skin him and turn him into a skin suit or anything, but he is like thinking. And now he's like, maybe she does have something that would be nice for me to have, because he's coming in off the rail a little bit. He is looking in at you at different times. So being really attentive to what his behavior is when you're just letting him be who he needs to be. Because this horse and a lot of people aren't allowed to be. It's very frustrating. Oh, perfect. That'll work. There we go. Say something to see if I can hear you.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. I can hear you. All right. So now let's see what he does here. Okay, good. So he's just chilling. Now, anytime he wants to come to you, because we've done a lot of space claiming with him. So those of you that are watching me, this is the second session that we've done with him. But Daniela's been playing with him in the meantime. And he's like just sort of chilling. And there's the head coming down, his ears starting to get floppy. But now we're kind of allowing him to do things on his terms. Whereas before it was like, this is my arena. I will be where I want to be, and you can respect that. You don't have to be afraid of me. I'm just moving over here. A lot of times when you start claiming space or asserting your boundaries, it can either piss people off or scare them. And he was kind of like, I'm not really sure what to do with this, but I'm interested. And right now he's not super interested. And how do we want to engage with him to get him more interested? Now, that doesn't mean we start all of a sudden going around whacking and smacking and tagging and flicking and teasing and tickling. Well, I don't know. I'm always up for that on a Friday afternoon. Give me a good, give me a sunny day and a good slap and tickle. I'm a happy girl. But this guy, that's the same. So you start doing that with him, he's going to be like, what the frick is wrong with this lady? And I knew it. She's just like all the other ones that try and get me to do stuff. Now, the reason I know that this is such a great horse for Daniela to work with is because she's very similar. You know how often I try to get Daniela to do shit? Never. I never try to get Daniela to do shit unless she's like going 90 miles an hour with their hair on fire towards a cliff. And her name is not Thelma, and I am not Louise. I will say, put the brakes. Brad Pitt was in that movie. What are you doing, woman? So unless it's like something like that, getting somebody to do something is just frustrating as hell. Because could we get him? Could you look at his hindquarters? Could we manipulate the language that we have with him to get him to come over to you? Sure. Interesting that he just sort of like glances at the gate now, and he keeps coming in off the rail. So we're going to start again. We're just going to like, we're so much in observation mode with the situation right now. It's like, what is he doing? And why should we care? And because he's asking the same thing. What is she doing and why should I care? Now, interestingly enough, I was listening to one of my dear friends, Ray Higdon. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. And he was talking about sales. Daniela's favorite topic. And he said something really powerful. And this fit with me because what are we doing right now? You're selling bourbon on your idea that you're worth hanging out with. Now, you got him trapped in a container, right? You don't typically have people, unless you're at a seminar with the doors locked or like weird, we're going to steal your keys until you buy from us or some shit, right? So you don't have that with people as much. So you have to position yourself. There he is. So there. Now don't pet him. Just allow him to be. I know he's so hard. But we're still in observation mode, right? And observation mode allows you to position yourself so you can do some intel. And this is what Ray was talking about this morning. I don't always make Ray's lives, but when I see him on, I jump on because he's always got brilliant wisdom. And this is like, dude, this is the same thing with horses. You have to make sure you know where they're at, cause your idea to become their idea, but understand their idea first. And he refers to it as positioning. Well, hello, you got to position yourself in time and space and the right place in the arena, or he's going to think that you're not doing something that he wants you to do. And it's like, you guys, this is the most boring thing on the planet to watch. If we were to just sit there and not listen to my cool stories, because I got a shitload of them, and like the wisdom about how you can apply this to your life, because I got a lot of that too. Yeah. Then you'd be like just bored sitting there. And Daniela's like, her spine is constricting or I don't know, whatever, discs are squishing and your back's hurting. Right. So you could just sit down if you want, or get squat down or do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Because we're going to be here for a minute or two till he figures out that, now if he lifts his tail and farts right now, like passes gas, that's going to be kind of important to notice too. Now there's the look. Now there is a slight tension in him, believe it or not. There, good boy. These little nuances, if you've ever been on a call and you're getting ready to ask them to buy your shit and you feel them and you go, they're either going to say no or they're going to say yes. And you already know what the answer is going to be if you check in, tune in, and tune up, right? Tune in, check in, right? So he's still sort of like, I'm not really sure if I want to cuddle with her right now. She's got the stick. We're in the arena. This is not typically what we do. So what would what does your intuition tell you should do with him now? Has he licked and chewed yet?
No.
For those of you watching, licking and chewing means that he is processing something. Like there's something interesting that has like, oh yeah, I get it. That's what that means. And bourbon,
he did it while he was walking in circles. He licked and chewed once, but not right now.
Okay, so just once. All right, so we're going to wait for him. We're going to give him a little bit of a chance to just sort of lick and chew. Being with you guys is so hard for people like me. This was one of the toughest things I ever had to learn because I'm not the kind of person that likes to sit around and do nothing, although I've gotten better at that these days. What are you doing today? Nothing. I mean, you're not going to do anything? Well, I might get dressed. I might occasionally shower. I might brush my teeth. Yeah. And the more you can just wait for him and let him sort of puzzle it out, because there's going to be another release in him before he can actually connect and be engaged with you. There's just going to be one or two more little things that come up. I don't know what those are going to be, but right now, all I can see is that cute butt. And yes, is be comfortable. There's so much. Like I learned from my mentor, love language and leadership in equal doses. Bullshit. I say love, 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 a little bit of language and leadership. Like so much more there. Did he look at you there?
No, he just looked at me.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I'm just observing with like a soft eye, with a soft gaze, a generous observation, a generous gaze, like pouring love into him because we want him to love on us, right? Of course we do. I love snuggling with my horses, and we snuggle. Everybody snuggles differently. Like some of us like to snuggle. Some of us like to slap and tickle, and it depends on our mood. Right? I don't always like to slap and tickle. I want somebody to read my body language. Okay, I'm getting a lot of wind noise. There we go. All right, so we're going to continue to wait. I'll tell some more stories. Yeah, something's up with that. All I can hear is wind. There's the Wookie Chewy. There, he's going to come over and say hi. Let him touch you first. There you go. Good. I mean, honestly, you could end the session right here. Like this is the big piece. One of the things that I had from my experience with my Maverick. Okay, we got to do something about the sound. It's crazy loud on my end. There we go. Thank you. So no, you're gonna have to mute it or something. It's just all. Can you mute your phone, Daniela? Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm just getting a ton of wind noise. Awesome. So this is going to be a one-way conversation now. I apologize. But and it's not that big of a deal, honestly, because this is really it. Like this is really it. And if this is think about 168 hours in a week, how much time do you spend with them like this? Like intentional, I'm going to hang out with you. I don't have anything I want from you. I just want to love on you. I don't want to do anything with you. We're not going to do 3 circles at a trot to the left. We're just going to be. Yeah. And just be still for a little while. And this, when you're talking about your meditation retreat, you guys, if you're interested in doing something that will completely and viscerally shift your soul, you got to come it's end of July to Daniela's meditation retreat with horses. It's going to be phenomenal. And a little bit of it right here, what you're observing is the horse isn't just doing nothing. They're never doing nothing. It might look like they're doing nothing, but they're not doing nothing. They're nothing doing nothing. And to just lean into that and feel like what it feels like to do nothing and to really observe what it can feel like to be with, be with another individual of any breed, species. Look at that. There you go. What a sweetie. And to just stand there and just be. What are you doing today? Nothing. I'm doing nothing. And when you can give yourself permission to do nothing before you're so exhausted that your body tells you have to do nothing, because that's what we generally do. We get frustrated with life. We like our day goes through, and I was at the grocery store earlier today, and I was just standing there, and like everybody around me was so frustrated about something, so that there's a little girl. There was a young girl. She was probably maybe 12 or 13, and she had riding gear on at Whole Foods, um, getting, you know, $12 dozen of eggs. And she's sitting there bitching to her mom about something. And it was that whiny tween voice that you just kind of stabs you right to the eardrum. So I was like, "Gah." And I wanted to elbow check her. She cut right in front of me. I wanted to freaking hockey check her right into the wall. I would never do that. But it was one of those situations where you're like, look around, open your eyes, look up to the sky, just be. We're human beings, not human doings. And to just be with him and just feel his presence and be honored by it. Be honored that you have this amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, unbelievably forgiving animal that has accomplished so much in his life, and just pouring love into him and just feeling the love like reflected back to you and saying, you know what? Not today. We're not going to do, what are we doing today? Have you ever had those days? Like I had a really cool chemistry teacher in high school. It was like that. His name was Dr. Mr. Hosmer. Hosmer was his last name. Weird that I remember that. And he came in late. Thank God, because the chemistry teacher I had before was like from the Jurassic era. And he came in, and like we would have days where we would go outside and sit on the steps, and he would teach class outside. And funnily enough, he looked a little bit like Robin Williams. And that was like kind of at the time when Dead Poet Society just came out. And I just remember kind of having that comparison. This is chemistry. Hello. I mean, I love chemistry, but not everybody does. And not everybody's a big nerd like I am. So we went outside, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I was so excited to learn from him because he made things interesting and different. And he actually like really cared about his students. And when you're in sales, and you can look at that like in chew. And when you're in sales, or if you're in a job, you live on planet Earth. What's that, Daniela? No, I can't hear anything. So it's just coming through noise. Nope, nothing. But it's there. He's a sweetie boy. What a good boy. And just letting him be him and express himself. My other favorite teacher was Miss Pemberton, and she was taught the noises, wind noises back. Cutting out. I can't hear anything. Lots and lots of wind. Nope. No voices, just wind. No. Nope. I can't hear. Saying just wind. I love you so much. A good thing you love me. I can't hear anything you're saying, Daniela. All I hear is wind. So, no, wind. I can only hear wind. I know that you are talking with your mouth. I know that that's what's happening, but all I'm hearing is wind. So thank you for those of you that sticking with us in this. But this is important. Like the importance of doing nothing. There's an Italian phrase. It's something niente. Like I don't even know it. And now you're really pissed off because I know you know the phrase, and you can't say it because I can't hear you. So it's something niente. It's like I'm doing nothing. It's the art of doing nothing. And for these horses, every single minute, every single moment that you are spending doing nothing with him is a moment that he can relax into being with you. That's it. Yeah, it's saying your mic isn't connected on my end. But this piece right here, like honestly, this you need there you go. Come out here and sit in the round pen and do your meditations with him. Rose 2, not with Scott. Scotty doesn't need it. Scotty needs you to play with him. He likes to slap and tickle. You do too much of that with Scotty, and he's going to be like, boring. Right? But you need to do a little bit of it with him so he doesn't always feel like you're out there doing something to him. But Bourbon needs a ton of this. And there's going to be a day, and this might takes me back to the story of Daisy, where I had little Daisy and she got really severely injured, and I had 6 weeks to come up with a program that was like gonna, I had to do a performance in 6 weeks with a horse that I drove all the way from Florida to Colorado. On the way there in Missouri, she got sliced up to ribbons in a fencing. She ran through a fence, and it was in the middle of the night, and she was in the middle of Missouri and nowhere. We're like chasing her down in the middle of nowhere. And we got her back, and she's all cut to shreds. And so got her doctored up and made her way out, made the rest of the trip out to Colorado, but I really couldn't do anything with her. So I just spent 6 weeks there going for the first little bit of it for sure. I had to spend, anywhere but the gate, or the blind spot, if you can avoid that too. And every now and then just stop, because he's actually thinking about like rolling and laying down. So this is just super chill land. So I had to do this performance on the last part of the 6 weeks of me being there with this horse. Well, not even my horse. It was a friend's horse I was borrowing because Trace was in rehab. He'd severed his leg and his tendons on his leg. So I couldn't physically do anything with her. And funnily enough, same thing happened when I got Maverick. He had an injury in his foot. So I couldn't do anything with him. For 9 months, I did nothing with Maverick. And with Daisy, for the first several weeks, I really didn't do much. And I did a lot of this. And when you're dealing with a Maverick and you're in sales or doing anything, the niente, the doing nothing, is the key to really doing something. Because there's going to come a time, and we saw it the first day, and it goes in increments with these guys, but these guys give you like big bowls. They'll give you big bowls of trust when they're ready to give you trust. And so all I did was care for her. I didn't really even, do much with her. I cleaned her pen. I fed her. I took her on walks. We hand grazed. We did a hell of a lot of this. I think I read about 10 books, outside her pen. So for the first little bit, we didn't do a whole lot. And she started to relax that fight, flight instinct, that fight, flight, freeze instinct in her brain that told her that one of these days I'm going to do something to you. And I don't know what that is, because I don't know what human you are, but something's going to happen. And I'm waiting for it, waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. But when you get to a point where they're like, all right, it's called in behavior land, it's called an extinction burst. And unlike Dante's and Bella's, where we're trying to get them to stop doing a certain behavior, we're trying to actually get into his brain and into his heart and allow him to stop feeling a certain way about humans or about an environment or about his leader. Yeah, perfect. Good job. And there's going to be, as I'm talking to you, I'm creating something in my brain around like an exercise that could work. Like if he does this, then you do that. And if he does this, you do that. So you can sort of avoid the pitfalls. Now, we're not going to be able to avoid every pitfall in every way and every time. There, now just stop there and let him come to you. Perfect. Because there's 800 million different possibilities. But so when you just live in the present moment and start following your intuition with these sort of situations, like Daniela is very intuitive when it comes to being out with the horses when she's not questioning her confidence or questioning herself or stuck in her head. So when she's just like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm like, how did you know to do that? That was perfect. Right. And to just allow him to feel unpressured. Because if we're not doing stuff, if we're doing nothing, a lot of us overachievers feel like we should be doing something. So the art of the chill that gives your brain that little bit of time to just relax into it, it will actually put yourself in a position where you can make a quality freaking decision. I don't know about you, but when you are in a space like this, a lot of times you're not making quality decisions when you're not still. And you just said it while we were trying to get the tech stuff set up. You're like, look, I got to focus on this. I can't do two things at once. No, but a lot of us are trying to do 10 things at once. And 9 of those 10 things are putting pressure on ourselves to do the one thing that we really don't want to do in the first place. When if we could just stop, hey, look at that. Stop for a little bit. Do you see how his whole body language softened? It's so subtle, you guys. It's so subtle. To be in a space where he can just soften and be still because you're soft and you're still. Now, does this mean we're never going to do anything? We're only going to, get high and sing Kumbaya? I don't know. Sounds like a pretty good world to me. But no, of course. Yeah, let's just go and out in the woods and, eat bark and make love, right? Well, if we live in the world of the 3D, you do actually need to do things from time to time. But I don't know about you. I'm going to get so much more accomplished when I'm rested, when I'm energized, when I'm aligned, when I'm connected to the people that I need to communicate with, because all we've done is sell him a bill of goods. Just kidding. All we've done is sell him on the idea that we are who we say we are. And we're here for him and with him to serve him and not to him and against him. So anytime you have somebody that is interested, if you're not out there telling people about what you're doing and sharing it and loving on them and positioning yourself, and I'm not saying you specifically, Daniela, because you did everything perfect in this arena, but in every arena, how do you position yourself authentically, realistically, from a centered space, from an aligned space? Because now you have a horse. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think you burn very many calories out there. I could be wrong. You could be out there like, I don't know, you might have one of those like tummy tuck machines on your belly, and I don't know about it. But outside of that, you probably didn't burn a lot of calories. I know. This sucks. I'm like, I'm pitching the balls, and they're just like, I feel like a tennis machine. Nobody's hitting them back to me. That's okay. You have to listen to what I say. I feel like omniscient. I can't hear you. Your microphone's on mute. But there's more lick and chew. That, you guys, this is so important. As ridiculous as this video is, like, to go back and watch it later, like, okay, make sure that you're downwind and shit, or upwind, or hiding look at him. He's curious now. He's getting curious. What's she got? Because he's not going to be interested. Like, oh, you're texting me. Are you kidding me? No, don't leave the arena. You're good. Just be. Because now you have a horse that's soft and calm and connected and mildly curious. Mildly curious. All right. There you go. So you've been hanging out with him for about 30 minutes, believe it or not. But that's a little bit, it's subtle, man. Good boy, pet him. You see how he stopped you to love on you? Yeah, now go love on him. Now go love on him. And ask him, like, how do you want me to rub you? How do you want me to touch you? What can I do for you today? Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there like, "Oh, well, you're turning into a pleaser." Well, no, we have respect, we have boundaries. We went over that day one. But when you get into a space where you have the boundaries, like I respect your boundaries and you respect my boundaries, and can love on you and you can love on me. I don't know about you, but I want to be in a relationship with somebody that comes to me and says, "What can I do to help you be a better human today?" And sometimes that is like a little tough love. Like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't go to, McDonald's and eat lunch today. Maybe let's go have a salad instead." That's a good that's where somebody loves you, where they're helping you be a better version of yourself without criticizing, coaching, condescending, controlling, manipulating, right? Gaslighting. So, what can I do for you today? How would you like to be touched? Look at his face. We did nothing. And he's so grateful that you did nothing. Oh, it's a huge look and chew with him. He's like, whoa, people do nothing too? Usually people are doing a whole lot of something and asking me to do a whole lot of something too. And the something that this horse has been asked to do, yeah, it's impressive physically and athletically and achievement wise, accomplishment wise. But he's like, nobody ever asked him. They just put the harness on and said, let's go. And now that we're asking him and giving him permission to express himself, what a beautiful soul. And like asking, where can I scratch you? Where can I love on you? What do you enjoy? And don't be very careful that you don't project, because one of my horses loves me picking their nose. They love it when I shove my nose up there, my hand up their nostril, and they have like this little second hidden like flap inside their nose. And I like dig in there. I pick out some good boogies. Like they love it. Trace loves it when I get underneath his tail and scratch back there. He lifts his tail and farts on me. It's awesome. I blow dry my hair. It wouldn't smell very good. But yes, this softness that you have with him, this head down, this relaxed nature, this expression, this release, this right here, this release of tension with him is not just you. Just look at that. This is not you training him to do a thing. This is you. Go pet him now. Go scratch on him. He's telling you. He goes, okay, come scratch. Now he's dropping, relaxing. And now when he goes and thinks about you, what's he going to think this time? He's got a new world order. He's got a new way of looking at humans, even if it's just a glimpse. And the worst thing we could do now is say, hey, let's go in 3 circles to the left at a trot. What we could do is go for like a walk or a trail ride or something he knows very well that would be no pressure. Like just like you're just chilling, walking around, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And believe me when I say that there's going to come a time and he's going to go, all right, fine. I trust you. You did it with me. It only took 2 years. There he goes. Oh, look at his face. And his expression will change and his face will change and his facial expressions will change. Remember last time we just looked at the nostrils, right? The right nostril was all long and weird, and the left one was all round and breathing weird. There, look at this, yawning, insane. This is how much tension, baseline tension, this horse was holding. And it's nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with his past and what he thinks about the Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. Sorry. Deleted that word from my vocabulary, apparently. Human beings. I'm a ridiculous individual. So look at all this yawning. Like you have it, what I see is full permission to give him like a full body scrub, like legs, belly, find out what he likes. If you're feeling it, if you're feeling it. And honestly, because this was such a big thing for him to just be this soft and this easy with you, I really wouldn't do much more than just love on him today. Have a little a little love fest on a Friday. Fun Day Friday is all about the love, baby. Every Friday, 1:00-ish. On Fridays, we go live. Last Friday of the month is in person at Artemis Hill. So if you want to come and actually do this yourself, you want to get in the ring, you want to get, what do you want to call it? Like some people call it the hot seat. You want to be in a hot seat. You want to be center stage, whatever you want to call it. You can get in the ring with the horse if you're in New York. And when we, in the winter, you can come down to Florida and do it with me in Florida. And we do last Friday of the month is in person. And we have a lot of cool events coming up. So making sure that you are checking us out, subscribing to my YouTube channel, following me on socials, and Artemis Hill. Artemis Hill in Chester, New York, and Daniela. She's amazing. Like what she's able to do with these horses, just with like, you guys, legit, no training. Like she didn't go to like a horse camp and get, she's not like me. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my education. I spent years, and I mean, I got good fast because I got obsessed. But there wasn't anything about this that was taught to her, except for the time that she spent with me, which means she's probably going to be slightly crazy too, but that's okay. She started out that way. We'll forgive it. Because it's important. It's important that you know and understand how much meaning this has for, look at him, how much meaning this has for the horse. And an introverted horse like him, who's just like, please don't put too much pressure on me today. I'll do whatever you want. Just please don't put too much pressure on me. And this type of horse, if you have him out in the middle of a field and he feels like you're going to be putting pressure on him, he's going to be all the way at the other end. He's going to do anything to not be in the ring because he's afraid of having pressure put on him. So now because we're not going to do that today, but tomorrow, the next day, in a week, in a month, in 20 minutes, we will be able to do a little something, but just a little. This is where we go 5% on the problem and 95% on the solution. I'm not even going to say 80-20 rule with this guy right now. Like I literally, for him, the only thing I would do with him today, if anything, would be some like lateral flexion. Just something like super small and simple. Just let him stretch his neck. Like, yeah, because he's already kind of doing it anyway. And this is what I would do for a while with him. Just come in here, spend about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and just be. Look at all this licking and chewing and processing. This is him releasing adrenaline, tension, cortisol, stress, all of the old stories that he has about what people do with him when he gets at the end of a rope or in a ring or under saddle or under harness. He just doesn't have good stories to tell. So we're helping him change his story. Change your story, change your life. Change your energy, change your life. Change your vibration, change your life. And his vibration when he came in here was one of, all right, well, I'm here. What are you guys going to do to me? And now he's like, oh, wait a minute. This is kind of not what I expected. And most of us, especially in Western culture, are so inundated and taught to take ourselves to like go tell failure. And I agree with that. But this is going till failure too. And what going till failure looks like can sometimes be so counterintuitive. And when you get out with the horses, you can force them. Sure, he's forced his whole life until he got into Daniela's world. Thank God for Daniela, right? There's more release, all this tension. Right now, what I would love for this guy to have is like just a little lateral flexion and a massage, right? Like massaging under his tail and like in places he like, oh, it's gonna be like, oh, that feels good. What feels good? Because we don't care if he jumps high or runs fast. That's not what these horses are for. And the horses that are for that, sometimes I feel bad for them because they don't get this. They get go to the ring, perform, back in your stall. Now, sometimes that's not a bad thing, but that can't be your life. That's the same as us. All we have done is corporatized the horse and their experience. Stall, office, stall, office, stall, office. Flake of hay, bucket of grain, stall, office, stall, office. Maybe once in a while a carrot. We're the same. Home office, home office, home office. Sometimes if your office is in your home, that's even worse. And sometimes during happy hour, we drink a little more than we thought. Aw, we need more of this. We need more of them just being okay and being relaxed in our space. Now, he's kind of looking for a little something to nibble on, but it's not because he's hungry. It's because he's got something in his, like in that chakra, that area of his mother. He's looking at you, but he still needs to clear. Yeah, he's probably yawning. Yep, I can't see it because of the board. But that I have a feeling he's yawning. I see his tongue flapping. Yeah, his tongue's going. And this is the release. And this is why I kept going. This is why I kept talking, because I knew he wasn't done. I knew he needed to come to the other side of this. And so we're 46 minutes in to us just standing with a horse. God, these sessions are riveting, y'all. I know. I need to be able, and that's why I'm a good comedian. I got to be funny because he's boring. No, just kidding. If you're obsessed with this stuff, then you realize they're not boring. You realize that this is so powerful for him. And he might even roll. If you massage him, he might. I don't know. Maybe if you don't massage him, he might. I don't know. All I know is that he is feeling good right now. And he's like, wow, I don't feel good around humans very often. My horse friends, yeah. But with humans, meh, I could take them or leave them. But Daniela, she's kind of cool. I didn't realize that this is the way it could be. This is an intervention for a horse. Believe it or not. Like all that shaking, see how floppy his ears are now. He had his penis dropped earlier. It was relaxed. And he's like, wait a minute, I didn't have to jettison the fuel. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. And sometimes when they poop like that, like if he were to poop now, it would be like a release of energy rather than like getting ready to run. So there's different reasons, that same behavior for different reasons. You know, some of us drive fast because we like the thrill of the going fast. Some of us drive fast because we're late, we're chronically tardy. Some of us drive fast because we need to get to the hospital. So same behavior, different reasons. Everybody's like, well, when they do this, it means that. Not always. Sometimes when I laugh, it's because I'm frustrated. Right? So same behavior, different reasons. Same thing he's got going on. Horses poop for different reasons. They pee for different reasons. They roll for different reasons. They buck, they kick, they do all their behaviors can show up depending on their persona and depending on their environment and the adaptive, something I teach in my masterminds. And this is something that's super powerful to be able to come in and say, this is what I'm doing with this horse today. What level of patience? And notice too, that she's just like putting her hands on him and like massaging him. She's not like grooming him. brushing him or doing anything to him. She's connecting, allowing, feeling for him, feeling of him, feeling together with him. And to give him that space and have the patience. Like for me, I love horses so much that I was like, whatever I need to do and however I need to show up, I'll do it. I'll do it. I didn't know that it was going to take becoming a completely different human being. Took so much learning, pain, tears, lots. And to just stand there with a horse like this while somebody else isn't like, well, you're, not listening to a book on tape or listening to music or texting, or to just be present. Like it's actually a gift that you aren't able to talk to me too much, because you'd be pushing your energy to me when you really are. Look how much more present you are with him. And like even connecting mentally. People are like, how do you talk to your horses when you're not there? I'm like, I just connect to them across time and space. I know it sounds woo-woo, but it freaking's magic. I could tell you stories that you would question my question. But to just say, look at how calm this guy is. Now, if we wanted to do something at 50 minutes, this would be kind of like, I would say he's got maybe one more little release left in him, but he's just chilling. And it's not like he needs to be like all up in your business, snuggling with you and loving on you and writing you love notes and giving you starbursts in the shape of hearts. I mean, like it's, I don't know where that came from, but it doesn't like, he doesn't expect you to do that. In fact, he's kind of hoping you don't. Because then the law of reciprocity kicks in. He's like, oh, she sent me the freaking starburst bouquet again. I got to buy her flowers. Blah. He just wants to chill and be. And once he can feel like he has permission to chill and be with you, is when he's going to say, okay, now that I'm with you, I'm with you. Like Steve Martin said, when I'm with you, I mean, I'm with you. And he's not quite there yet, but he will be very soon. The more of you do of this, the more he's going to relax that side of his brain that's scanning for inconsistencies, that's waiting for you to show up like the predator he knows you are, and grab that stick and whack him on the butt or task him to do something that he's like, yep, I knew it. One of these days, if I just held out, she was going to show up like a weirdo. Beautiful. I would rather do this with horses than gallop around the world. And I want to gallop around the world too. That's right. Now, balancing this with respect. And that is more of the 80-20, right? Or 95-5. Like all I would do with him is just ask for some lateral flexion and get some good, like you're probably going to hear his neck pop, because he's just holding that tension. And now, oh, perfect. See, you are intuitive. The minute he touches you, boom, game over. And that's it. He's like, all right, I can be with you. That's good enough for me. And that's good enough for me too. That's it. Yeah, I love him. Love on him. Yeah, you can see if he'll do you just a little light lateral flexion towards you now. Just little light stuff. There you go. Just gentle. Get it. But if it's just a 2 millimeters, a tip of the nose, he doesn't have to touch his shoulder. There, good boy. Yeah, and then pet him. Good boy. Yeah. And just playing with that, like, hey, are you with me? And back and forth and getting that nice and soft. This is what you wanted. This is the kind of clay you want to be dealing with when you start asking them to do stuff. I don't want to ask somebody that's tense and worried and frustrated and stressed out to do something. I mean, what do they say? If you want something done, ask the busiest person. That doesn't mean ask the most stressed out, frustrated, frantic one. That just means ask the one that you know actually gets stuff done. There, very nice. Yep, that's okay. Pet him and then keep your hand there and ask, go ahead and get it, but ask for less and give him more time. So like just resting your hand there and then just maybe putting an ounce of weight in your fingertips. Just to even where if he looks at you with his right eye, release on that. Right. So we're just looking for the slightest, like I was thinking about this the other day, like the slightest effort on their part and building on that instead of waiting for this big, huge payday. I mean, there's times to go for the jackpot, and this is one of them, but the jackpot looks different. We're not going for all this there. Yeah, just stay with him. Stay with him. Stay with him. Stay with your hand on his face. Stay with your hand on his face. There you go. Yeah, to just stay with him so you don't teach him that that's what you want, right? There you go. Beautiful. That's it. Perfect. It doesn't have to be all regimented. It can just be a little, hey, what do you think of that? There you go. This would be a horse. Yeah. Nice and relaxed. Good boy. That's it. Little bit of lateral flexion back and forth, just a little. Now you know which side's harder. Going to the right's harder. There you go. Good job. All right, y'all. That is unbelievable. Beautiful session. Nice and relaxed. Connected. Relaxed. That's the key piece. He's like ultimately relaxed. And my money is on if you left the arena, he would probably roll. I'm not saying do that though. I'm just saying because he kind of looks like he wants to, doesn't he? He's got his head down. He's nice and relaxed. If he wants to eat whatever that weird thing is that you got, unless it's plastic or something. It's good. Yeah, look at that. Good boy. Moving through frustration with relaxation. What a cool piece. Great job. Unbelievable. Maybe we'd sit here and we've been on for an hour. Right? Like all we did was nothing. Congratulations. Most people don't know how to do that in a healthy way. Most people want to do the wrong things or do nothing for the wrong reasons. Cool. Brilliant. All right, y'all. I'm going to come back to the program here. Yay! I have no idea who's been following me. What's my favorite body part? I don't know. We're gonna block this guy. Favorite body part. I don't know. But come and check us out on Fun Day Fridays. I'm going to post that in the chat. Fun Day Fridays. And then definitely make sure you are subscribing and following on social media and my YouTube channel, subscribing. We are going to be doing these videos every Friday afternoon. And if you're in the New York area, make sure you're checking out Artemis Hill and having the opportunity to go and visit the horses in person. We have a lot of great events coming up. If you have any questions or want to reach out and get involved in what we're doing with helping humans become better humans through horses, really. That's legit. That's what we're doing. It's amazing. And it's been something we've been doing for a long, long time. And we're excited to bring it to you now with 2 locations up in New York and down here in Florida. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next Friday. And believe in yourself. It will change your life.